Welcome to Home and Away, a Tottenham Hotspur podcast hosted by myself, Graham Spice, and Glen Cowie, where we discuss all things Tottenham Hotspur with both a match attending and international supporters view. This week's episode will review the Everton match from yesterday, preview the Newcastle and Chelsea matches this week, and we're joined by returning guest Stephen Price. A lot to get through, so let's get into it.
Let me be the one that you turn to, someone you can rely on, closer each day.
I am. Good to see you, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. A lot of football at the moment, so it's not international rubbish.
Well, as they say, the games are coming thick and fast. And as you said in our intro, we've got a returning guest coming back. Stephen, how are you, mate? Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me back.
How's Denver's winter? Still as sunny as ever, as it always is?
It's good at the moment. Actually, it's going to be a bit of a change today. You remember how it is when you lived here. Like whenever it gets really windy, that means the weather's changing, right? One way or the other. But yeah, it was 65 today. I think it was 70 yesterday, so it's lovely.
Always sounds weird to me hearing it again in Fahrenheit. I'm like, what? How hot?
Yeah, switching, right?
Yeah. Oh, good
I'm
stuff.
old enough to remember
money.
Fahrenheit back home, so it makes it easy for me. I can still switch between the two.
Yeah, good stuff, mate. Well, good to have you back, Graham. Good to see you. Look, I think I want to touch on it a little bit, even though, as Stephen said off air, a bit of a non-event. We can discuss very briefly the Monaco game. I thought Archie Gray did all right at left back, and Vicario made some really good saves, and that's about all I have to say about that. I don't know, Graham, if you have anything to add.
I don't have very much else to say about it either. It was a bit of a non-event. I guess, I don't know if anyone else noticed that the atmosphere in the stadium was so flat. It's not a great footballing arena, is it?
It's a weird place. It's a weird place to have a football team, really. I mean, even though, to its credit, it produced some greats, and we've had obviously one of our own greats play there in Hoddle, but weird place. Stephen, did you watch it, man? I know that would have been slap bang in your work day, right? Would it have been lunchtime for you?
Yeah, I know. I'd always make time to watch.
It
It was not as good as I anticipated. I thought we was going to, I didn't steamroll them, but I thought we'd have a comfortable win, like a 2-0 or something. And what transpired, like you said, was that's the only positives, was the Vic display and actually coming away with a point. They should have scored at least 4 or 5. But frankly, if you look back on it, we should have scored 2 or 3 because we had literal sitters in front of the goal. Odebert had one. Mawani had just completely whiffed it and missed it. And Tell.
And Johnson.
I'm talking about them 4 or 5 yards out. And it was funny because I was on the WhatsApp group and somebody posted in there. It was something about, it was going back to the game against Everton when we last beat them at their place by 4 or 5 goals. And they showed, and it was a team, and it was basically Dele Alli scored, Eriksen scored, Kane scored, and Son scored. And the quality of finishing was just like, it seems to have just left us. You left with this.
I think we've been spoiled, haven't we? I think a bit.
We have, with Son and Kane in particular, right? And then Kane's just gone on and he's just stepped up to a whole new level. And I know there's argument to say that the Bundesliga maybe isn't as good as the Premier League.
The quality of the players around him as well is better as well, isn't it? I guess he's getting better service.
It's a good point, actually, like in terms of, I was thinking that even watching, as we pivot towards the Everton game review, even watching the Everton game, I was like, I never really felt in that game, and this is such a weird thing to say after walking away from a game and winning 3-0, I never felt that we were going to score, if that makes sense. Even though we scored 3 goals. And I was thinking the same. I was like, gosh, we were spoiled. Like, we had Harry Kane, Son. I mean, we had play. And look, you could say he's Frank being just a little bit pragmatic. Is he being maybe too pragmatic? Well, Arteta's doing the same at Arsenal, and they're top of the league and clear by 4 points, right? So his horses for course.
And they are literally Stoke now. They've perfected Pulis ball, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but this season's weird. There's so many goals from set pieces.
That's the weirdest thing, right? We are the top scorers in the league currently.
Are we?
How did that happen? Seriously, we're top scorers in the league.
And we've got no strikers and our forwards aren't putting them in.
Exactly.
That's crazy, right?
I think so. Van der Ven's our top scorer with 5. Second top scorer is own goals with 4.
Own goals with 4.
It's so weird. It's definitely an odd season. I think because Liverpool aren't firing, so they're not scoring really. Even Arsenal, they're only winning like 1-0 for a number of small games.
Watched their game yesterday, and they were pony.
Yeah.
They thought watching us yesterday. we played better than Arsenal in their game, and I thought we were, again, to your point, we weren't exactly exciting, and I thought the same thing. I was like, where's a goal going to come from? And yeah, the only places they're coming from the moment from set pieces or from defenders.
Although
I
the
think it's
third goal was
more-
decent, I thought the third, but
Who
then
was decent, Graham? Sorry, mate.
the third goal,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it required two of the players involved in it were substitutes, right? So
Yeah.
who came on later in the game? That Sarr scored the goal. Richie headed it back across to him.
It was Richie that headed it
Yeah.
across the
So
start.
it was a really nicely worked goal for sure. But from open play, we didn't look that
But would we all
threatening, did we,
agree,
at all?
and maybe we wouldn't all agree, but I'll put it in the room, like, would we all agree, or is it a debatable point that this is palatable because we're not conceding? Right?
Oh, it has to be. Compared to last season, it has to be, right? And don't get me wrong, I find myself moaning at the moment that we're not exciting enough, and we're not playing through the thirds. We're not creating much in terms of exciting football or opportunities up front. But I'll take this over what Ange gave us.
Yeah.
I'll take stability, and maybe this is like him just building this platform and a foundation defensively for us to then push on maybe when we've got more of those players in. Because as much as I think we've got some decent creative players, like we're missing. I mean, Xavi is meant to be. We'll come to him a bit later. But if Maddison was in the team now, it will be different. If Kulu was in the team, it would be different. So maybe that's his approach, right? And I just have to check myself and say, listen, don't moan, because we're in third place, right? How many points are we off of top? 5?
Be 5 points off of Arsenal.
I think off of top. And then if you take Arsenal out of the mix, and you say, I think it's second to something like 9th is 6 points.
It's such an unusual
wild.
league, isn't it? If you look, we're sandwiched between Bournemouth and Sunderland.
Which is
Just makes no sense. If no one would believe you if you told them.
But what a league this, and what a season! As much as we're like laughing about it, how good is that though? That is literally.
Oh yeah.
Think about
all
Premier
of
League,
the teams,
anyone.
all the promoted teams have made a real fist of it already, haven't they? They've all come out fighting. Sunderland spent quite a lot of money as well, I think, and they've looked decent. It's not a fluke, is it? They've turned over some really good teams.
Well,
and
I tell you what,
Bournemouth are really firing again as well.
I watch, like, I don't know what they get in the States and England as far as extended highlights, but here you get something called a mini match, which is like 90 and 30. So I watched a 30-minute mini match of the Sunderland game against Chelsea, away to Chelsea. It was a throwback, like how they beat them. Like, it was long throw, which gives me hope for when we play them, because they couldn't deal with it. And then the winning goal was just Wimbledon-esque. It was just long ball, lump it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was quite interesting to see. But just going back to our game, and I know we've all kind of talked about this a little bit on the WhatsApp group that we created for this episode. I was actually getting visibly angry seeing from like minute 1 from seeing Kudus and Johnson, because immediately it was like, Kudus, we literally had the kick off, and then Kudus was on the right, and I'm like, well, why are they both there? What's going on here? Like, it was.
It did, yeah. I couldn't understand the formation or what the intention was with it.
Yeah.
It felt like we just were like lopsided.
Absolutely.
It felt like a off the ball 4-4-2, and then on the ball like a 3-5-2. But yeah, it was Kudus. I mean, I have to state this, right? Kudus is a remarkable right winger. Every time I've seen him in a different position, though, is 50% the player. So I think we just have to keep him out there. Keep him out wide on the right. I'm not saying play him as a fullback in a 3-5-2, but however we play him, he's got to play out there because he's phenomenal, right?
It's where he's most effective, isn't it?
Yeah. But I think it creates, in the moment, it's creating a real imbalance because we're driving everything that way. We've had this kind of approach of giving the ball and see what it can create. I'm worried that we're going to overwork him and it's going to lead to an injury. And then that's all of our creativity gone. The only creativity we've got at the top of the moment until like maybe we get Maddison and Kulu back, but Maddison's probably going to be out for all season. I don't even know what Callum Kulu is.
I think, and that's probably a fair reflection, but that's all only true if Xavi continues to be a bit shit, because he's not been great. And you know that there's a better player in there, but he's not really been given. He's never really played in that full number 10 for me. He's not been given the right to play there. I don't know what your view is, Graham.
Well, I think that that was one of the things about having the two right-sided players on, because naturally one of them's going to leach into that same space, isn't he? That Xavi's in. Does that push the Xavi further out as well, the other side?
Mm.
And so I don't know. I don't think we found a way to get the best out of him yet. He's definitely not a left-sided player. He should never play there again. That didn't work. I think he needs to be the 10, but I always feel when we play like we did again with the double pivot with Palhinha and Bentancur, that's really effective for an away game where you want to like really, really close down the midfield. But actually, not a lot of ball gets to Xavi from the. So when you've got like maybe a more creative 8 or something that can drive forward with the ball and then maybe pick out Xavi or wide players, and you get a bit more movement, it's all a bit static and a bit slow. And also, I've watched him a few times, and he's really bad at losing a player. He just looks like he's marked. He just stood next to a defender or a defensive midfielder the whole time, and he's not a big bloke. So if he receives the ball, he's not got the strength to hold off a player like Kudus has.
Did you see that in that opening? I think it's the opening minute. He came up against, was it Braithwaite? And I looks like, holy, you know what? He was literally double his size. It was like a 6-year-old child next to him. He's what's frustrating for me at the moment, right? You can see that the talent's there. He's been very successful in the Bundesliga and in previous leagues and other leagues, as well. But I think he's a classic example of a quality player coming to Premier League and thinking that they're going to be able to just come in and do what they did there, and then they have that realization that this is a different game. This is the intensity, the strength that you have to have. Modric, best example. Modric was getting bullied all the time until he got up to speed, and look what he turned into. One of the strongest midfielders I've ever seen for someone his size. Couldn't get the ball off him, right? I think with Xavi, he looks frustrated with himself at the moment. You see when he came off, right? He was almost in tears, the guy. But frankly, he'd done a bit more in the second half, but Bergvall upped our tempo. To your point, Graeme, Bergvall was just basically, I'm going to come and get the ball. I'm going to be more of an 8, box type 8.
And I think that's that's his strength. He's really good in that, driving forward with the ball. And he's got a range of passing on him as well. So I think that's one of the things that really has frustrated me with our attack has been the slowness of the build-up. We've got bogged down in that kind of horseshoe passing around the back. And by the time you've done that a bit, I know they're trying to drag players out of position by moving it across side to side to find a space to find a kind of a ball through. But I just think that most teams will just sit deep and wait and just watch you do it. They don't have to come and do anything about it, and eventually they'll turn you over and get the ball back. So I feel like when we do attack, when we're in transition, we really need to do it much quicker to catch teams out of position. But we don't do it. We've just been a bit slow in the build up, and that's
your point on that whole Xavi thing. Like, I think you're exactly right. I think he needs to be like a legit 10, like an attacking midfielder, like our Ericsson used to play later on. Because what's happening, what I've noticed is, and Frank's come out and said, right, he believes that progression happens through the wings. He's come out and said that, right? And it's been so noticeable in the games where I think we haven't played greater ones, where we've either lost or we've drawn, is when a team wins the ball, I don't know, whether it be in their third or in the middle of the park, there's no one in the middle because our mids are actually, when we've got the ball, supporting them out wide. It's so weighted over that way. You win the ball, and then Villa game, Monaco, and even yesterday, the ball through the middle, I don't know, 20, 30 yards. The pass is just there, straight through, and there's no one to intercept it, and it's putting us on the back foot often. So I think there's some concerns around there with teams that have quality, and we're going to find out here soon, right, with our run of games we've got coming up. I'm not saying that the other teams we've played haven't had quality. Wolves have become like a bogey team for us. I think Villa was my most frustrating one, to be frank. I just felt like we controlled the game, and then Emery was really smart.
They made no other chances really to speak of.
They slowed it down on ground that game. They really slowed everything down. And to your point, we allowed them to do it because we were just passing around the back, sideways passing, and just letting them set, and they were happy to do that. But I think in terms of because I don't want to sound too negative, because we won 3-0, right? But again, what we mentioned, where are the goals going to come from outside of set pieces and defenders like Mickey at the moment? I just don't see it, because our creative players that we currently have available are Richie, who's been awful. since the beginning of the season.
He's
He
got
did
that
okay when he
brace,
came on
and then
yesterday.
and that's about it.
Done nothing. But he did okay when he came on yesterday. Barney, who's getting up, I think he's going to be, like we said in our group, I think he's going to be good. I'll give him up to speed. Then I've got Johnson's not putting goals in. He's not really getting time. And when he's on, in the bad games last season, he's doing it again. I feel like we're playing with a man down. And then I threw Javi into the mix. I'm like, I feel like I had 2 men down here. So I feel like I was playing 9 men at one point with the both of us. And then you've got Odegaard, who I'll get to hopefully on this thing, because every year I have like this pet Spurs player that really bugs me.
Jason
Odegaard's my
Dazelle.
one
It's the
more.
Jason Dazelle theory.
And then it's like, and then Javi, and I'm like, Barney, if I take mine out of that, they're so lightweight. The intensity isn't there. They get bullied off the ball really easy. They pull out of tackles, and you can say, okay, I forgive all that. If you're creating, if you're taking players on, you're going at players. The only one out of all of them that is actually taking players on is Odegaard, but he always ends up coming back and then passing the ball back in. He doesn't actually cut inside. He doesn't actually go for goal. For me, it's just so lightweight at the moment that is a concern when you combine it with Richie just basically looking like he doesn't give a crap, to be honest. Like, I'll go and run around a bit.
I think we've got such an astute manager. I really do believe that. I think he knows, and I agree with everything you just said. I think he knows this. And I think he's been so pragmatic. And I think he's even said that, right, in some of his post-match, where it's like this new attack, or these newer players, creative players, the ones that we're missing are the ones to come back. He's being very pragmatic. He's getting wins by playing a way that probably doesn't impress us. I have complete confidence once Kulu's back, once Xavi finds his feet, quite literally. Odegaard, I don't know where I sit with that guy.
The way I think about him is he is not currently he's probably our first choice left winger, but that was never meant to be the case, right? We put big money down to try and sign a left winger, so we clearly knew it was a gap in the squad, but we didn't get anybody, and so we are weak in that area. We don't really have anyone.
What was his position at Burnley, Graham?
I think he played there as well. He played on the left.
Okay.
But what frustrates me is that every time him and Tel go away for the under-21s for France, they bang goals. They bang goals in for fun. The pair of them, goals and assists. They've got an absolute brilliant partnership there. But for some, I know it's under-21s and that's not the same. But they've definitely got the instincts. But is it just that they need? Does he just need to be a bit stronger? I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Always our expectation of quality, is it going down, right? Because we've been spoiled by Son and Kane, and then I'm looking at players from like elite Pochettino squad, right? I'm looking at these apparently quality players that we've bought. And I hear what you're saying there, because Thomas Frank came out and said, he's like, I'm playing Tel because they're in form. And I'm like, come on, mate. I'm fully Frank, by the way, but I'm thinking myself, come on, mate. That's under 21's international team. I don't even know those playing against. This is Premier League. Like, it's so different. In an under 21's international does not get you a starting place in the Premier League, in my book.
I think the lack of options at the moment does, though.
No, yeah. Yeah, it does. I do. There's part of me, and don't get me. I don't know where this comes from, but there's part of me that believes that Tel could come good.
I think he could too.
Odegaard, I'm not having one bit. I'm laser focused on him, watching him off the ball. When he's got the ball, it's just, I think people because there's supporters of him, but you go online and you see people, and there's a bunch of people saying, Odegaard's fan, like, he's really, really good, or he's got great, and I just don't see it. What I see is somebody
for me, and I'm watching him too, and do we have another option? Probably not, but I don't think he has a great football brain. Like, that's my concern with him. Like, he gets into areas and you're like, there's the pass there, and then to Stephen's point, he come inside and it's what are you doing? Like, you've done the hard bit, like he'll beat a man or two men, and then he'll come inside or he'll make a bad decision. But so does Xavi. The amount of times Xavi gave the ball away in the last couple of games,
and he's trying those little flicks when I'm like, this is not a game to try little flicks in. Yeah. Everton away, we would be better off getting Jimmy Somerville, and I don't mean to sing the fella from West Ham who came from Leeds. We'd have been better off him than Odegaard. But to your point, Graham, it's a massive gap. The players are out there that we just go and get Semenyo, right? And that's if we can, unless someone else comes into him, a bigger team or a more attractive team. And if you can't get Semenyo, go and get Lau, who's a very similar profile for Milan. Very similar profile to Semenyo, right? Mitoma. Like, there you go. There's 3 names. Those are proper players, more mature, strong players that would hit the ground running. I really, really hope we're done with the let's buy a 20, 30 million pound player and hope that he comes good.
I think this January window will be it's a real good opportunity to see whether all the words from the new owners was just words or whether they were going to back it with actions. So yes, we know there's money, but there's no point. But as we've seen in the past, there's no point in spending 100 million on 4 players. What we need is 1 or 2 players to make a meaningful difference to the first team.
Do Jack Grealish, Graham?
I mean, we've had that conversation. I would have absolutely got him on loan for the season.
Exactly.
And then bought a long-term successor to fit in behind him. But yeah,
I was a bit befuddled that we didn't get him. I don't know whether it was more a preference.
He looked decent actually, didn't he? Yesterday, I thought it was quite good.
He's looked really good all season, really. And I was very confused that we seemingly were never even in for him. And I thought that would have just been a sensible bit of business to try and get done, especially as the season's progressed.
When is Kulu back? And this is another thing. Like it's been happening for years, isn't it? We have these little niggle injuries that turn into like season long, 6 months long. It's like almost back from training, and now they've got to go for an operation.
He had a proper op, and he's been out for a long time. Dragosin was the same. He had a ACL, I think, so he's been out since January. So both of them must be. I think they're both back on grass, so they're training again. But I don't know how long it takes to get back from.
Kulu makes such a difference to that setup because he can't get the ball off him. Like he's so
but again, the problem is then we get another right-sided player back in the mix.
Yeah, he's not now.
And we've got. The only thing I would do is I'd maybe play him as an 8, but then that's the same role that we're thinking up maybe Bergvall or could play. So we end up with. We've got great cover in 1 or 2 areas and still got a big gap on the left side.
So speaking of midfield and central midfield, I actually thought Bentancur had a really good game on Sunday. Yeah. I thought that was one of his best games.
I have been a huge fan, and I know he had that massive dip in form because he would come back from his injury. Before his injury, the guy was a Rolls Royce. He reminded me of Berbatov, the way he plays. So easy, effortless, his glides. I love Bentancur, and I cannot believe some of the pelters that he gets online from some fans. I'm like, you've got to be like a 7-year-old that doesn't understand the game or haven't played the game.
Player.
Bentancur's the real deal. People saying about he's not progressive enough, but Johnson doesn't show for the ball. He doesn't want the ball. The only one that wants the ball is Kudos.
There was a period in the game, I think we were 2-0 up, and Bentancur dropped in front of the back 4 to receive the ball with 2 Everton players behind him and completely mugged them off.
Yeah.
And kept the ball, and it was like, he's brilliant. I love him. I think he's a brilliant player. He's a really good game. Yeah.
And Paulinho, what a revolution he's been for us.
Well, it's funny. I'm in a WhatsApp group with a load of lads here, and now he's affectionately known as Pauline Fowler, because anytime anyone went to write Paulinho, it went Pauline, so we just call him Pauline Fowler now. Yeah. But he's been great, and he's brought exactly what we needed. But then to Graham's point, that's where you play the double pivot, right, in a game like that. Against a Burnley or a Wolves.
Against Burnley at home, you don't play that, right? You play Bergvall or Archie Gray or someone who's going to run with the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, even Bentancur can play that 8 role, and I don't understand. But I can only assume it's coached into him to play a slightly more defensive position.
Well, it's an instruction, Graham. That was
exactly. I don't. Because you're right. I mean, when he first played for us, he was playing much more as an 8, wasn't he? He was the box-to-box player, and he can still play like that. So sometimes I wonder.
Surprisingly quick. I don't know if you've noticed that with Bentancur. He catches people like when they've got a yard or 2. Like, I was really surprised how quick he was. But if he can stay fit, I think he's definitely like an integral part of our midfield. And I think you've got a great point there, Graham, which is like, because I've heard a lot of people say, well, at home, we can't play them both. Well, you can. To exactly what you're saying. You just got to say, listen, have a bit of freedom here, be a box-to-box 8 here. When you're receiving the ball, look for the progressive ball forward, right? You've got to be splitting the lines. You've got to be looking to feed the ball in behind those fullbacks for the wingers. But to do that, we've got to have a midfield. I think we're good. I think we're good for the near future in midfield. It's that front line, because even with everybody fit, I still think we need a better striker. I don't think we can rely on Don.
I think the other thing I'm really happy about is that, like, with Danso's been covering Romero for a couple of games, and he looks He just looks the
Be
business.
careful.
He's like a centre back version of Ben Davis, and that he'll give you a minimum of 7 out of 10 without even doing it. He walks on the pitch with 7 out of 10.
Don't even remind you a little bit of. I'm going to say it. I'm not saying he is him, but don't even remind you a little bit of Ledley.
Yeah, I was
The way
about
he
to
carries
say,
himself.
his recovery
And the way he
I think
tackles, the way he holds players off, the way he comes away with the ball.
Yeah.
it was, wasn't it something ridiculous? There was some stat I saw about him from that game. Here it is here. It was 18 clearances and then 6 out of 6
Won all his duels.
and he didn't commit one foul. So that's very Ledley-esque.
Yeah.
Those type of stats, yeah. So I don't think that's unfounded comparing.
And he gives us the throw in as well.
Yeah.
Which I think I mentioned it before. I'm definitely going to get a range of towels made up with like Big Kev on them.
Yeah. Got to be done. Got to be done.
We've got to put them swinging around their heads on the.
You should totally get that done and then send some to like the training ground.
I love that.
To your point, like in terms of the January window, though, if we have a good November, because we've got some horrible fixtures in November, and then December obviously is mental because it's Christmas and there's lots of football. We could still be, and I'm not for one moment saying we're going to win the league, but the point I'm making is we could be still well placed. We could be 2 to 4 points off of top, right? Like we were in that ill-fated window when we went and purchased Louis Sahar and Ryan Nielsen, right? And you think to yourself, to Stephen's point, right, now's the time, right?
We know the gaps in the squad.
Yeah.
Fill them now.
Yeah. Do it.
Everyone can see it.
Yeah. And you can't as an organisation, even if it's not a football club, you can't come out and say that. Well, you can, I suppose, and then retract it and you've got to behave how you're saying you're going to.
Yeah, exactly that.
For the right money, I think Bournemouth sell Semenyo because they signed him up to a new contract during the summer window.
There is a release in there somewhere.
That's why they've done a new contract because they wanted to make sure they got the top.
And I don't think it's an unreasonable amount of money considering the player he is. I think I read it was at 75.
Yeah, just go and drop it. Just go and drop that on there.
In modern terms, that's not that much, is it really?
It's going to be interesting, like, to your point, Graham, like, because Levy's not there. And we've always been told that he's kind of the penny pincher. Like, no, I'll give you 72 million and a bottle of Luke's Slade and a packet of Watsits. Hopefully we'll go and pay the money. And then, because we've got Don Patrici's back.
It's a statement piece, this, isn't it? It's a statement signing if we do it.
Let's not forget where his compadre, Kudos, they're both from Ghana. So you've got one on the right, one on the left. Maybe you can have a word.
I like it, but he's also an Arsenal fan.
Yes, there is that. Yeah.
There is. I mean, Eze just came out, didn't he, and said, like, listen, I was fully prepared to sign for Tottenham, but Arsenal came in, I couldn't refuse it.
Well, he called them.
Who knows what the bloody story is?
I know. It's okay. I'll look past it for Semenyo because I would be happy to have him at Spurs.
Yeah. So, a few more things from the Everton match before we move on. The disallowed goal. Your thoughts, gentlemen?
For me, it was the right decision.
There was 2 players interfering with the keeper, as far as I was concerned. They were both in an offside position.
Both offside becomes completely objective, right? So that's just offside. So therefore, anything that happens after that is moot. But even if it wasn't offside, it's a foul.
Yeah, it's still interfering with play on the keeper. Because you can actually see, if you watch it, who was it? It was 2 of them, wasn't it? It was
Grealish. Was it Grealish? Grealish was one of them.
Grealish was one of them, but I think it might have been NJ. But whoever was closest to him, just the ball's played, you can see he's kind of got Vic's shirt a little bit and he's kind of leaning into him, right? Which puts him off. Because when I see it in real time, first of all, I was like, I didn't even contemplate that until they showed it up on the screen. And I almost thought to myself, have you been beaten there, Vic?
I thought the same. It looked like gone right through him.
He looked like he was halfway down already, just like in, what was it, the Villa game? The one, I mean, spectacular strikes, but one of them, he was already like,
you're already going down,
down, and I was like, "There's no." Anyway, but
I thought right call. But Greg, do you have a differing view? Like whether it's offside or
absolutely. From the first time I saw the replay, I thought if I was in the stadium, I wouldn't have been 100% clear on what was going on. Yeah, but from home on the telly, it went the replay. But I've seen some really bad takes on it since then. Like, Mark Halsey said that it shouldn't have been disallowed. But he's got a newspaper column to sell.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what commentary you would have had Super Sunday. You might have had the same as me, Stephen. We had Jim Beglin as co-commentator, and I hate him. I don't know what his agenda is, but he seems to have one against Spurs. And he was very much like, no, shouldn't have been disallowed. Shouldn't have. And I'm like, what? Like, look, he's offside. He's fouling. What? Yeah, it was like bizarre. But yeah, I thought it was the right call.
Good. Yeah.
But yeah.
And then, so I guess we've got 13 points from 15 points away from home this season, which is very different to our home form.
What do you think it is with our home form?
I was going to ask the same, Stephen, right? I think, do you still have a season ticket, Stephen? Do you sell it? You still got yours?
No, one of my mates of mine a good few years ago. So
yeah. I've got one which is next to Graeme. Being my location, I don't go as much as I would like to. Graeme goes more than I do. What's the problem at home, Graeme? Is it soulless? Is it shit?
Oh no, yeah. On the TV, the atmosphere doesn't sound great at all.
It isn't great. And what I've noticed as well is that it's all these people complaining about the atmosphere. I sit in the same seat every week. The number of people that are in seats that I know are season ticket seats. So I always think the issue isn't tourists. It isn't foreign people coming to watch matches. It isn't the day trippers. I think the issue is the ability to resell your ticket easily.
Right.
It sounds silly, right? But actually it means that all of those kind of relationships that you build as a season ticket holder with the people around you.
Yeah.
I'll be fucked if I can find anyone that I know sometimes in an area where we all share the same season tickets.
I had my season ticket for 25 years, and I knew everybody. You become friends with them, right?
Within about three rows in every direction.
I could be 5 years in, and I'd be like, "How was Christmas? Do you have a nice?" I won't even know their name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know everything about their life, and just for that one moment during the day, it's like you're all family. Because that would drive me crazy, because I actually used to like that. I know that like Tim would be there, and he would be there, and that lady over there would be there, and the man got bloke over there.
And also people will turn up for the big matches, right? So, the Man U's or whatever, for like, they've just the amount of tickets that go on the exchange, and you get like a couple of randoms sat next to you. Like, and that doesn't bother me that's why there's no atmosphere, because nobody knows each other. Like there's no, I try and strike up a conversation with people sometimes, just because I just felt, I feel like that's an issue.
Gone, are you still getting the same like volume of Korean?
I don't think so. I think they're all going to LA.
Yeah.
Or they're going to Portsmouth.
They played
to see Min Hook.
They played here about a week ago, LAFC. I said to my mate, I wish I'd actually gone, because he's got a season ticket at the Rapids, and he's like, mate, it's like South Korea here today. It's insane. Yeah. But the fact that the Reece and Son were both there, I'll have to just go next time. Make sure I book it in advance to get the ticket.
But it's a funny thing, isn't it? Because I go all the way back to, it was a League Cup game. I was 8 or 9, so I'm going way back. But the point is, I remember it was against Man United, and there was a bit of trouble, and I was there with my dad. And you talk about family, Stephen, and how you feel, and you as well, Graeme. I remember like these United fans, there was a pocket of them, they managed to get in the home end, and they were kicking off, and it wasn't very pleasant. And then out of nowhere, my dad lifted me, and then I was lifted above these people as a kid and just got to safety. And it was like, we knew them because we see them all the time. And it was like that. You don't get that anymore. But is that just a product of life? Everyone's on bloody social media, and everyone's scared of you to have a conversation. It's like
there is that. The amount of people that are on their phones during the game as well.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's just photographs, and it's like a day out rather
to be seen. Yeah, and it drives me bonkers, because it's like, when I was back a couple of years ago and we went to a Man United game, Graeme, and I went to a few other games, I'm there for the football. Like, I'm looking around me and I'm like, watch the game.
I think expectations have changed over the years. I know, like I said, I have to check myself. I'm like, I find myself moaning, but here we are in third place, 10 games in or 9 games in. We're in all the cup competitions. We're not in a terrible place. We're in the Champions League. And then I'm sitting at home moaning because we're not playing prime.
I think the thing about the stadium experience is it's fucking expensive, right? We have one of the cheapest season tickets that we could get, and it's like 1,045 quid or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's quite a lot of money to commit. And that's without no cup games at all. So like,
it used to be, didn't it? Years ago, Champions League. Yeah.
Now, and also this season, They have. So I told you about all they've all of the. There was a lot of like sly little things that they did that have really screwed everyone over. Like, you can't transfer a ticket to somebody. So it used to be you could transfer it to anyone in your network. So anyone had a CRN, like just a number, you could transfer a ticket to them. Now they need to be a member.
Yeah.
So
like
like
a paid member.
I can't. If you wanted to go to one match, you'd have to buy a. It's cheaper for you just to buy one on the ticket exchange. I can't transfer a ticket to you.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is, right, for real mates, you probably give them your login and they could use it.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't do that to someone you'd never met before that was a friend of a friend. So like that's been a pain in the ass. They did the thing about the seniors tickets. That went. And then also all of the early round matches in the Champions League and even in the Cups have been really priced quite high. Like I remember when the first couple of seasons we were in the Champions League when we were at Wembley, they did this like 3-match deal. It was like, I think it was at 90 quid for 3 matches. And it meant that you got really good attendance at all the matches, even the ones that probably weren't the blockbuster ones. But now, like the attendance for the last home game in the Champions League was really poor. It was like 40-odd thousand. It was really low.
That's madness. Because didn't they do that thing as well when you can bring a kid for like 10 quid or something, which is like a one-off from a couple of games.
Maybe in the good old days, but not anymore. I think the problem is all the pricing was set when Levy was still there.
Well,
and
I'm
hoping that's one of the things they'll reconsider.
My hope is that this Vinny guy, the new CEO, he's ex them up the road, but what he did do there, and he's hoping to do the same with us, is he's got that connection to the fans and he does little things that make a difference. Like I think there was something with Arsenal where it was a little touch, but it was like I think he put on like 100 coaches or something to get them to a certain game. Like because there was railway issues and he just did it. He just said, it'd come out of my own pocket as far as I'm concerned. It just needs to happen. So I'm hoping, Graeme.
The Newcastle, good point, and we'll come on to the Newcastle game next, but the Newcastle game is an 8:15 p.m. kickoff on a weeknight.
You can't get game,
and that's the same people who have just done a 4:30 game at Everton as well. So 2 away games on the bounce up north, and there's no way you're getting home from that Everton one without driving. There's no. I don't think you'll get one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and he can drive in. What's that? You could get home at 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah. It's pretty ludicrous. But moving on, actually, that's a good segue. I'm pretty happy that the cup game is away for all of the reasons we just covered. I fancy us, I do. Newcastle are the holders, but if you look at what's left in that competition, if we can go up there and beat them, because it has to be done on the night, and I don't know if there's extra time, is there? So if it's a draw, it goes straight to pens.
Straight to pens?
Yeah, I think so. I really fancy us. I've got a feeling that we'll beat them. I think he'll pick a semi-strong team. I don't know what Newcastle will pick. But how do you see it, Graeme? Like, is it on TV there? 'Cause it's on TV here.
I'm not sure, actually. I'm sure it'll be on ATV somewhere.
It says
but
here,
I'm not sure whether it's on. I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know if this is true of the UK or the US, but it says Amazon Prime.
Well, if it's on Amazon Prime, then that's fine. I'll probably get that.
Yeah. So,
or I'll find it another way.
But how do you see it, mate? Do you think he'll pick a strong 11?
I think the problem we've got is for instance, the defensive 4 kind of picks itself unless Romero's back.
Yeah.
But I don't think he'll risk him if he's just coming back from injury. He'll probably save him for Chelsea.
I think Dato's got a case of not getting bumped out of the team for the minute. I know Romero has to come in, he's captain and everything, but in a cup game, I'd give Dato the nod, even if he was.
I'm okay with that. And as I said, so basically, I think that it will be Spence and Porro, unless he wants to rest one of them again and maybe bring Archie Gray on. I think he'll probably play the same 2 midfield, the same pivot with.
I think Sarr might. Do you know? I reckon Sarr might start.
But if he does, he might play him as the 10.
Could do.
I will play Xavi against Newcastle. He's going to get absolutely bullied.
Well, with Chelsea on Sunday, you expect that he might have a view to that one.
I can't make my mind up whether he'll start with Tell up front. Or I'm not saying I want that, but I'm saying that he might rotate him because he can't play in the Champions League match the week after.
That's a good point, actually.
And that maybe he'll save Mwani, or maybe Richarlison starts because he didn't start the Everton game, and then Moani maybe starts against Chelsea. I don't know, but that's the kind of rotation I could see. My worry is that Kudus, I don't feel like we can drop him because I think we need him because he's our only creative outlet at the moment. And the problem with that is we end up breaking him. Like if we keep playing him every 3 days, it's going to be a problem.
I pointed this out to you, Graeme, when we were chatting. Thing is, if we beat Newcastle, we're in a quarter-final League Cup, and the big heads that are left in it, Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, right? Like us. And then you'd probably expect the likes of an Arsenal, Man City, they could maybe make some changes in that quarter-final. I don't know, I feel pretty buoyed. Like, if we can beat Newcastle, we've got a very, very good chance of winning this trophy. Stephen, what do you reckon, mate?
I actually don't fancy us.
No?
I think we're going to struggle up there. I think he does what Graeme said. I think if he plays Javi, that's suicide because of how lightweight he's been. And Newcastle, they're the one team that bullies pretty much every other team out there. If you look at their defence and their holding mids, right? Even if you put Guimaraes in that as well, these are like
and Joe Linton's a nightmare.
Strong, aggressive players.
Have you seen the size of their striker as well?
Yeah.
And he's good though, isn't he?
It's like the Jolly Green Giant.
Crouch, he's got much better feet than Crouchy, and he can actually head the ball as well.
Yeah.
If you look at him from the face and hair down, it's modern day Rudy Vuller.
Yeah, so I think
On stilts.
I do think we're gonna struggle. If we win, of course I'll be ecstatic, but yeah, I've no expectations for that game. I think we'll lose 2-1.
We've got such a poor record up there as well in recent years, haven't we?
We haven't.
I think we've lost 5 out. We've lost 5 out of the last 6 meetings up there.
And the atmosphere is going to be rocking up there as it always is at home.
Remember that game I was back in England for, Graeme? It was the 2023 visit I did, and I was at a family barbecue, and I shit you not, it was my mum's side of the family, so a lot of them are Arsenal. My dad's side are all Tottenham, and we were 5-0 down after, 24 minutes away to Newcastle, and I was surrounded by all this, and it was like my worst nightmare. I was at this family barbecue.
Isn't that the game where Lloris went off at half time and we never saw him again?
Never saw him again, yeah. And it was like, I just disappeared, and there's like a pub around the corner from my cousins. And my mum was WhatsApping me, where have you gone? I was like, away from all of you.
Not in the mood.
We have got a poor record, so one could argue we're long overdue maybe to get a result. But we'll see. And then hot off the heels of that, we've got our other little nemesis that everything seems to go wrong against is Chelsea at home. So you're going right, Graeme.
Yeah.
It's at home.
I don't know why I do it to myself.
Where's Palmer?
Is he still injured? He didn't play against Sunderland, did he?
No. I'm not sure he's played that much this season. Even when he's been fit, he's been...
Well, he'll be back for our game, right?
Yeah. Well, like I said, watching Sunderland away to them, they seem to not like the long throw. So we got a bit of that in our locker, and they didn't do well with the long balls. I don't know.
They're not a very big team, are they? If we put it up them and we actually take a Newcastle approach, I think that's how we beat Chelsea. If we try to play a fair game with the ball on the ground a lot, I think that's a losing strategy. But I think we'd have to just be a little bit old school, be very direct, strong in the tackle, long throws, balls into the channels. I think that's I fancy us more to beat Chelsea than I do for us to go up there and get a result at Newcastle.
Last time we beat them, February 2023. And then, of course, we got pumped in that famous game of high line with 9 men. Yeah, it's not been great record, is it, at all?
So I think what could make a difference is if we get Udogie or Romero or both back. But again, it's one of those mystery, how long are they going to be out for things, isn't it? They're either going to be about this week or March. It's going to be...
Well,
So I've got a question for you both. If they're both there, who starts, Spence or Udogie?
Udogie
for me. One of my things I wanted to ask you both about, because that name come up, is Spencer's been fantastic, right? I think we can all agree on that. He's got his England cap, call up, and he did. I thought England games in the 2 friendlies, I thought he was one of the best players.
Well,
I'm a little worried about him believing his own hype. He's getting a little bit casual in some of the games for me, and I think
that's always been it's part of his makeup. I think he's always been like that because he's had issues before, hasn't he, with other managers? Like even when he won with Forest when they got promoted, he was sending messages to Warnock online, and so I think he's got it in him, and I think that he does have to realise that yes, he's got his call up to England, but he's not guaranteed a starting position in this team.
No, exactly.
He should. I think there's a bit of, he's not very humble, is he?
And he's a better left back than he is a right back.
It does
sure.
seem that,
weird,
doesn't it?
right? Because again, he's right-footed, and there's no reason for that to be the case.
Didn't he play like right wing back for Forest? He played more of that kind of role, right?
Yeah.
And Borough. Yeah. And he's not going to dislodge Porro for me. I think Porro's been really good again.
And it's not so much all the online stuff for me. It's actually in game. There's little bits where there's elements to times when he seemed a little blasé on the ball, and he's like making mistakes that I feel like if he wasn't being arrogant or blasé, that you wouldn't mistake. And it'll be a shame because I think he's come on so much, and he's fantastic. He's been brilliant. I'm just hoping that he doesn't get a little bit arrogant and cocky, and then combine that with getting a bit pissed off when Udogie comes, because Udogie starts for left back for me. But maybe because he's pretty versatile, he'll get his enough minutes to keep him. Like Sarr.
Well, we're gonna have to rest Porro at some point, right? As well. So that's always
it's always a tricky one to try and predict a result or what happens. I mean, because we obviously got a game sandwiched in between it. I can see a score draw, but I can see like lots of shit happening, as it always does against Chelsea, home or away. Like there'll probably be fucking silly VAR calls. There might be a sending off. You just don't know. But I hope, going back to your point, Graham, that the atmosphere is good, because I think Everton actually showed us, like in that game, their stadium was bouncing. Like when they were trying to get back in the game, it was really loud, and it was like, that's what ours should be like. So I'm hoping for your sake, Graham, that it's a good atmosphere, but I think a score draw is likely. But
I think my worry is we've got such a poor record against Chelsea. We've got such a poor home record this season. We've got a long injury list. Chelsea are in quite good form. They've also got much better depth in their squad because they've got like about 6,000 players. The only thing that maybe we get a couple of nice set pieces and we know we score a couple of goals. I'll take it. I'll take any win against them, to be honest.
The Sunderland equaliser was a long throw-in, and they looked panicked as. They couldn't deal with it. So,
but I really would like us to start finding better form from open play on the pitch and not have to rely on set pieces. I have no issue with us scoring from set pieces. Happy to add it to our arsenal, but I don't want it to be our only trick. We need to be able to score from open play as well. And at the moment, it's really limited.
And on that point as well, from open play as well, I don't want to become too predictable with everything just coming in. I mean, even that third goal, which was a good goal. What was it? Ball out wide to Porro. Porro sprints down the line, delivers the ball back post over to Sarr. Goal. Again, it came from the channels. We aren't scoring anything from the middle at all. So I don't want it to be too predictable.
It's a game. Look, it's one that you'd expect the players to be up for. Hopefully the fans are up for it too. It's Frank's first kind of involvement in a big derby, being at Spurs. So it'd be interesting to see how he adapts himself. I would say I'm excited for it. I'm never excited for that fixture. I doubt I'll be watching live. It's an 03:30 a.m. kickoff, which is horrible for me.
It's brutal.
So, but I'll probably watch it on delay.
I was going to say, I wouldn't. I'm not sure I'd probably watch it from underneath the duvet like that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a Sunday morning though, so I'll watch it on delay, but it's probably one. What's nice
it's
about
actually on Halloween for you then.
So
let's hope it's not a real.
So it'll be the Sunday after. Yeah, so it's Sunday morning of the Saturday night. But Sundays are nice because Monday mornings are difficult because the kids have got to get around and go to school, right? And Iris, my youngest, she likes to watch some of the games with me. So on a Sunday morning, it's quite nice. We can get some breakfast and she'll watch it with me. So let's hope for a decent showing.
So let's just quickly summarise then, because we didn't complete all our predictions for the two games. For the Newcastle game, I think we lose. I think we go out. And I think
Newcastle game, I think we win. I think we win 2-1. Stephen?
I think we lose
2-1. Back to you, Graham, for the Chelsea game. It's hard to predict. We don't know.
I'll go 2-2 draw.
I'm going to say the same, 2-2. I think a score draw, but I think a really mental game. Shit's going to happen. Stephen?
I think we're going to win 3-2.
Oh,
I'll take it. Yeah. I'll take it.
Lots of goals.
All right. I'm happy with that. So before we go, and Graham knows about this, I want to go on a little rant just about FIFA. So about 6 weeks ago, I entered the FIFA. If you're listening, I don't think you are, or watching, or that horrible bloke who runs it now, Infantino. He's worse than Blatter in my view. But I entered something called the Visa pre-sale draw for World Cup in America. I'm a US citizen, as other people know. All excited. So I entered it as like a lottery, and on like the third week, I got my little slot. I'm like, oh, cool. I've been successful. I can go on and get some tickets because I didn't really care who I saw. I just want to be there and be a part of it.
Yeah.
So I log on and I filter by city. I filter by LA, Seattle, Kansas City, and Houston because I've got like family and friends where I can like make all that work. And just left it being really, really disappointed and brought fuck all because they're asking for, I think one of the cheapest group stage games I saw was $2,000 USD.
No way.
For face value.
Have you seen what's
what? I'll get to that. So that's just face value. Right? That's just FIFA's price, right? So that's face value in the portal. And then there was like a round of 32 in Houston. I thought, oh, I'll have a bit of that. Looks like they're available. $4,000 each. Face value. Like I've been to World Cups. I've been to major tournaments. You're talking expensive, but you're talking a couple of $100s. That's palatable.
Yeah.
So then there's another little portal you can click in, which is the resale portal. So I'm like, this will be interesting. Let me just see if there's people that have been successful and then they can't use those tickets, so they resell them. I shit you not, there was a World Cup final ticket in the resale portal for $5,000. Someone had put that in there. And here's the kicker. FIFA take 15% from the seller and 15% from the buyer. So they're getting a 30% clip on what someone resells it for, on top of what they've already sold that ticket for.
It's a liberty.
It's an absolute disgrace.
That's more than the original face value price.
Correct. It's an absolute disgrace. In fees, Graham, just in fees.
Yeah.
It's an absolute disgrace.
I put my name into the system of it is, and I've just not even heard a thing. I was hoping that maybe some corporate
Yeah, same.
route that I could get there. Honestly, I'd
Well,
much
you
rather
shouldn't
go
have
to,
to,
I want
Stephen.
to go
Like,
to the one in Guadalajara. I want to go to Mexico. It'd be much better. That'd be fun.
and you and I maybe, and maybe Graham to a degree as well, we live in a bit of a, not a privileged world, but we do sometimes maybe have access to corporate stuff like I do through work and you do as well, Stephen. I think, Graham, you've had things over your life where you do get lucky and you're like, oh, I've been invited to this or I've got an in. But as an average football fan who doesn't have access,
I mean, bearing in mind that apart from for Americans, it's a pretty significant journey and the cost of accommodation will be mental as well because everything will be quadruple the price because of the World Cup as well.
You know,
I almost hope the stadiums are bloody empty and that people
totally agree. And
people just don't buy the
which
tickets.
is a crying shame for football because this is why I want to go because I like football. Going to major tournaments is one of my favourite things to do. And because of COVID and lockdowns, I wasn't able to get
you've
to
always
Euros.
been a big England fan, ain't you, as well?
Yeah, I love it. And it's like, it's just a crying shame. And then I was messaging with another WhatsApp group, another American in Houston, nice guy, but he was like, oh, but the reason it's that expensive because Americans will pay it and it's an American event. And I went, no, it's a world event.
Yeah,
like, get that out of your
absolutely.
mind immediately. It's a world
It's
event.
not the World Series, friend. It's the real World Cup.
And he's like, well, look what fans pay for baseball. Like, to your point, World Series. I'm like, it's just a disgrace.
But don't make it right, does it?
No.
Two
So
wrongs
here's
don't make it right.
Here's a little plug. That'd be good alternative for fans, especially expat fans. But one of my pals here where I live, we've got a little expat group. Like you may know the curry night that everyone comes
curry night. I used to go, yeah.
We do a curry night here in Castle Rock. There's a good group of lads. One of them's from Bradford. He just opened up a pub called the Brit. Just opened up last week. We went to the opening. He's had an absolute flyer for the first week. All proper English grub and everything. But it's right there at the Colorado Switchbacks football stadium. So you can have a beer or a bit of food and you can look out onto the Switchbacks. The Switchbacks apparently are going to display the World Cup games on the big screen there.
On the big screen, yeah.
So I'll end up probably going something like that, and hopefully there's a good gathering of people.
Yeah, and that's my view as well. It was like I was messaging with my brother-in-law who's in Vegas, which is a good central area because I can get anywhere from there cheaply, or I could drive if it's LA. And I just said to Ryan, look, mate, my plan is I'm going to see how England progress, see what happens. I'm just going to book a flight and come, and then just take the chances and see what I can find.
I'm sure
But
you'll
it
get
shouldn't have to
tickets.
be like that. Like,
No, you're right.
Yeah.
I think what you said about your friend in Houston saying that, but it's an American event, and I think that is true. Right, I remember going to see who did I go and see? I saw the Broncos
yeah.
against the Patriots, and we had really good. Someone took me at a work thing, and we were like row 2 behind the goal. So really good seats, and they were like $2,000 a piece. So like that's not the World Cup.
Hey, if you go to like a regular game and a team's not even doing that well, you're still paying $400 or $500 for a ticket for a Nuggets game or a Broncos game. Whereas we're used to like go football. Like if you haven't got a season ticket, go to
That's hospitality. It's hospitality.
I wasn't able to go. I was to Euro 2024. I wasn't successful in the lottery, and then I had a few opportunities, tickets come. But the way it worked is, if I'd been in England or Europe at the time, I could have just clicked the link, brought it, and gone to the game. But I was in Australia. It takes fucking 30 hours to get there. But point I'm making is, I was offered face value a semi-final ticket for the Euro 2024. I would never have been able to get there in time. It was €220. I'm like, that's fine. Like, that's what you kind of expect. Like, that's reasonable. Not
for that kind of experience, that's reasonable, I think.
Correct. Like, that's a reasonable price tag. Okay, Champions League final ticket when we lost to Liverpool, €110. Reasonable. Reasonable.
Yeah, it's a piss take what they're charging.
Anyway,
I think it's going to be possible to get them as well.
Yeah. Rant over. Back to, hopefully...
That was a very posh rant.
Yeah.
Rant.
Yes, indeed. Rant. But yeah, so back to you, Graeme, to maybe close us out. But as always from me, looking forward to the Newcastle game, then followed by the Chelsea game. As always, come on, you Spurs.
Yeah, thanks to everyone who's listened in. Please like and subscribe to the podcast to tickle the algorithm so we can get in front of more Spurs supporters. And do let us know in the comments what you think of our chances in the upcoming 2 matches. And to close us out, as Glenn said, come on, you Spurs.
Let me be the one that you turn to, someone you can rely on, closer each day, home and away.